Hey everybody! It's time for T-shirt on the tube. T-shirt, t-shirt, t-shirt on the tube. T-shirt, t-shirt, t-shirt on the tube. T-shirt, t-shirt, t-shirt on the tube. Ooh, ooh. See, I'm trying to spruce up my intro every time I record. How's it going? I know this is a late upload. I had some family stuff going on last night, so I couldn't record. And I was tired and I had to wake up and take my kids to school this morning. But I said, let me do this. Let me knock this out. Let me knock out my fishbowl Friday so that I'll have this stuff just in time for the weekend. And I could breathe easy because I was looking at the month of September and there's 2 other shows that I would like to review. So I'm going to be video blogging every day with the exception of Saturday. Pray for me, but I'm gonna knock it out the park because that's what I want to do. Consistency. So you may hear my kids, because usually I do this when they sleep or when they're not here, but they're here and they're up and they're making noise. So you may hear them in the background or whatever. But yeah, this is Growing Up Hip Hop New York, Season 1, Episode 2. And I wrote down notes. It starts off with Young Dirty Bastard at his Rolling Stone shoot for the Wu-Tang anniversary or whatever, and he's complaining about his outfits. He does not like his outfits. So his sister Taniqua is like, it's so hard to manage him because he's so, like, he just nitpicks at everything. So you know, she's like, he has an impulse control problem. Like, he's the same as how her father used to be, like, wanting to control everything. And she's like, you know, chill, I got it. You know, relax, don't worry about it. So, he's like, he's upset with stylists because they're pulling out things that he doesn't really like. You know, what he had on was like a bubble coat. And I think it was, like, warm or whatever where they were. So, I don't know. So Taniqua is like, I want you to focus more on your career. Like, this is what you should be doing. Focusing on your career, focus on shoots, focusing on that stuff instead of focusing on women. Because he's a serial flirt. Don't know if he's a cheater. From what it sounds like, he just wants to be an African prince and he wants to impregnate, and I don't know about wife, but impregnate everything moving. So, he's like, well, I'm feeling designer and, you know, I plan to knock her up. I plan to make her my next baby mama. And I'm like, bruh. He's like, I'm like a tree. I have all of these, you know, if I got all of these roots or whatever, you know, having a kid, it's the thing that I'm supposed to do. I have all this sperm, you know, so why not? Why can't I impregnate every woman I come across? And I'm like, my guy, not every woman you come across wants to be your baby mama, number one. Number two, that's kind of sort of a sign of reproductive abuse if you getting a chick pregnant against her will. But I digress, whatever. So now we get to Ja Rule and Brittany, and they're working out, and Brittany is explaining to Ja Rule that she went to JoJo's mixer, his party, and she had a conversation with Designer about the whole Fire Festival and let him know that it was topic of conversation and that she pretty much is like, you know, she's just tired of people talking about it. And he's like, well, you know, because I'm the person that it's the focus is on, I never realized how much it'll affect my family. So Brittany is like, you know, I'm not really letting it affect me. Like, it doesn't affect me. It's just the fact that people come to me and question me about it, which I know they're going to do. So she's like, I feel like the conversation with me and Designer we didn't complete that conversation. And I feel like we should continue that conversation. So next time I see her, we'll continue it. And, you know, I'll be happy to answer any questions that she wants to know. So, then they discuss JJ's arrest. And Ja Rule is like, I would never expect for JJ to get arrested. I would expect for you to get arrested. I would expect for Jeffrey Jr. I would not expect for JJ to get arrested. And he's like, well, how did that happen? And she was like, well, he had weed on him. He was holding it for a friend. He signaled wrong. The cops stopped him and he got in trouble. And he's like, wow. So what did Irv say about it? And she, you know, Brittany was pretty much like, well, Irv was really cool about it. You know, it wasn't a problem. And he, you know, Ja Rule was like, well, I would expect for y'all to get caught. And, you know, he's like, I know that my kids smoke, and I would much rather them smoke and I know about it as opposed to them doing it and rebelling and I know nothing about it. I would rather them tell me, which I understand because I feel like I would be that kind of parent. You know, I would much rather my child smoke or whatever, not in the house, but you know, outside. If we have a backyard, smoke outside, a balcony, smoke on the balcony. I would much rather I know that you're into this kind of stuff as opposed to you going out and you meeting up with people and let's say you don't know the person from a hole in the wall, but they telling you to trust them. You smoking with them, they give you something and it's laced with something that got you bugging out. So I would much rather that. Like, I'm not gonna push drugs on my kids or whatever, but I do know peer pressure is out there. Like, come on, I was a child not that long ago, but I was a child and I know peer pressure is out there. I know people be wanting to smoke weed to fit in, and so I would much rather my children tell me as opposed to them going behind my back and doing it and they getting jacked up. That's the kind of relationship I want to have with my kids. I mean, I'm not knocking how people raise their kids, but that's how I would raise my kids. So I get it. So Brittany is like, you know, she's invited to Lil Mama's 90s party and she's going to go to support or whatever. So now we get to Angie and JJ and they're discussing the arrest finally because JJ's like, well, JJ doesn't really want to talk to, they're going to hand her. JJ doesn't really want to talk to Angie about the whole arrest because he knows that his mom is going to find out. Because Angie is like mom number 2 and then his mom, Deb, yeah. So Angie is like, okay, so you were arrested. You told Dad? Dad knows, right? Okay, so if Dad knows, how does he feel about it? And JJ is like, well, Dad was surprisingly cool. So Angie's like, okay, so not only did you get gifted a Rolex and some diamonds, but you got off scot-free or whatever. I mean, you have a whole court date coming up, but you didn't get no lecture. You didn't get scolded at. You pretty much got what you wanted, but you did something wrong. Like, how does that work? And I get how she feels because that's how it's created that, you know, the man, he could get away with stuff, whereas the things that a man does, a woman can't get away with or whatever. So that's what Angie is feeling. Like, she feels like Irv not favors JJ, but coddles him and is hard on her. So Angie is pretty much upset and confused, and I get it. And she's asking him, well, when do you think you're going to tell Mom? And he was like, I don't even know if I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just going to take this to my grave and ride it out, blah, blah, blah. So Irv comes in, and Angie is like, so you knew your son got arrested and you wasn't going to say anything? He said, listen, JJ told me not to say anything. I wasn't ratting out my son. I wasn't saying anything. His secret was safe with me. So Irv is like, if you tell Angie, you tell your mom, I'm gonna get a call from her. She gonna curse me out. She gonna curse you out. She's gonna find some way to put me at fault for the situation happening. And Irv is like, Angie, you better not tell Mommy or whatever. So Angie kind of gave him the look like, I'm about to sing like a canary. So Irv is like, he doesn't want to deal with Deb calling him and barking on him, but he knows it's gonna happen because he didn't bark on JJ about the situation. He pretty much was like, well, you did this, you gotta be smarter than that, you gotta this, yeah, okay, well, here's a Rolex and some diamonds. So I can understand why Angie's like, the fuck? Like, he did all of this, he got arrested, he went to jail, and he still gets a gift? How does this work? So I get her frustration. Now we are reintroduced to Little Mama, and Little Mama was saying how she was in Atlanta because she was on Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, not this season but the season prior. And she's back in New York. She said she was living in Atlanta for 6 months, I guess, to uh, revamp her career in music. And her brother, she's with her brother OnStar, and then she has another brother named Talik. She is one of 8 children, and she came back, just to come to her roots because Lil Mama's from Harlem, and they want to host a 90s party, her and her brothers. So they all see it as a good mix and mingle opportunity to like to promote the party, to bring some buzz or whatever. So they are planning this party, and literally they have 7 days to do it, like a whole week to do it. And they're trying to figure out how they're gonna fill up a venue that is 1,500. They want to fit 1,500 people, and it's $30,000 to do so. So their dad walks in. His name is True, and he pretty much is questioning her about her music. Like, you went to Atlanta, you're supposed to do music, you came back to New York, where's the music? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I am always focused on the music, but I do want to venture out into other things, not just music. And he's like, yeah, but you went to Atlanta to do music, you didn't do the music, you didn't keep up with it, so, but you come back and you want to do a party? Like, where's your priorities? And I get it, because if she was supposed to go and do music or whatever, and that's what people were expecting. So her father pretty much feels like she went to Atlanta and wasted her time. Like, it was pointless. So once he hears about the 1,500 people with the $30,000 venue, he's not with it. He sees it as a waste of money, a waste of time, or whatever. And Lil Mama is like, I have faith that this will be a good event. I have faith that this will create some buzz. I believe in my brothers. I believe we can make this work. And he's like, all right, I'm going to have to see you put your money where your mouth is, because other than that, I don't believe in nothing that you're saying pertaining to this party. I feel like it's a waste of time. You should be spending that money to be in the studio. And she's like, I don't want to be in the studio all the time. I want to do other things. I don't want to just be in the studio. And it just mind boggles me. I love Lil Mama. This is no shade to her at all, but this is shade to reality shows in general. These hip-hop reality shows, they're always in the studio, but their music, you barely hear it. And it sucks, because being in the studio and creating the music should be like, it should be promoted within these shows, and a lot of the times it's not, because the drama always overshadows, of course, because that's what makes good reality TV. But I feel like Little Mama has talent. Like, she can act. I heard her sing on Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, but her vocals aren't that strong. But she can sing. She just has to practice more on her vocals. She can rap. And she's been like modeling and killing it with her modeling. Like, whoever her stylist is doing a lovely job. So she has it. But it's just that she has to focus. And then people always like to use Lil Mama as the scapegoat of the industry. And I feel like that sucks. Ever since that whole thing with the VMAs and Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, people have been using this girl as a scapegoat for like 10 years. That happened 10 years ago. And it's like, y'all still dragging it. Like, let it go. Let this girl move on with her life. She apologized for it. She explained why she did it. Let it go. But yeah. So now we get to JoJo and Angela, and Angela goes to JoJo's house. She bought him vegan juices or whatever, and trying to get him to drink vegan, and JoJo is like, this is disgusting. So they're discussing him and Tanice's engagement, and he's like, right now we're in a bit of a quarrel. We haven't set a date because I want more kids. She wants to get married. So Angela's like, well, how do you expect for her to have more of your kids, and all you do is put a ring on it? Y'all ain't walk down the aisle. She don't have your last name. None of that. And he's like, well, that's going to happen anyway. And she's like, boy, she wants to get married. She wants to fit into her wedding dress. She wants to be snatched in her wedding dress. You want to knock her up. He's like, bro, we could spend money to get her snatched again after she had a baby. I'm like, that's not how it works, good sir. That is not how it works. Because pregnancy puts stress on any woman's body. You are growing a whole human. A whole gut full of human, okay? And it is a lot that comes with that. So I'm with Ange. let the girl go through her wedding and have her snatch dress and take her beautiful pictures in her nice tight fitting dress where she looking flawless and beautiful and she looking like a princess. Then after y'all have the baby, after y'all had a wedding, have the baby, have multiple babies, have at it. So they're talking about going to Lil Mama's event, and Angie's skeptical to go to the event because she claims that her and Lil Mama have some type of tension, and it kills me because I feel like, because so far, you know, with all of these growing up hip hops, all of them, you know, they all of the franchises are intertwined. You know, growing up hip hop LA, growing up hip hop Atlanta, growing up hip hop New York. They're all intertwined because all of these celebrity kids know each other. So, you know, Ange and JoJo was on LA, Ange and JoJo was on Atlanta, and now they're on New York or whatever. So it's like every show that Angela is on, she always has this irrelevant beef with people, or just people don't like her or whatever, because on Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, her and Brianna don't get along. And then Growing Up Hip Hop I mean not Atlanta, LA. On Growing Up Hip Hop LA, her and Brianna don't get along. Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, she was visiting Bow Wow or whatever. And I mean, she's liked on Atlanta, but because Bow Wow was dealing with some girl, the girl felt the way because Bow Wow and Angela was taking pictures together and they keep claiming they're friends, whatever. And then now on New York, I feel like she's creating a beef with Lil Mama just to say that there's something there, but I feel like it's really not. I don't know. I like Angela, but I do feel like she gives off a vibe where she's like very like, don't touch me, I don't want to be bothered type thing. Whereas Vanessa, I love Vanessa. Vanessa feel like I feel like Vanessa is the chill one. Vanessa be like, okay, whatever. Like, you could talk to her. And JoJo too. JoJo's funny. JoJo is like the comedic one. So yeah, but I just feel like Angela's a little bit snooty and snobby, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's an issue. But Angela is just like, you know, every time her and Lil Mama cross paths, it's just been like some unspoken, unresolved tension. And she said the last time that they spoke, she was like, you know, I hope we don't have a problem. I hope we cool. And, you know, Lil Mama was like, what was it, Lil Mama who said it? I don't know. I don't know who approached who, but they were just saying that it wasn't any tension. So I'm like, if there's no tension, then why do you feel like there's tension? And why do you feel like it's unresolved if it sounds like y'all solved it there? Whatever. So now we get to Designer, and she's with her friends, and she's saying she's getting dressed for a date. Okay. And, you know, they're like, well, why don't you wear this? And why don't you wear jeans? And she's like, I don't like wearing jeans because they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable on my fupa. Designer, girl. Fellow big girl to big girl. I feel you, sis, because all I wear is leggings. That is all I wear. I wear leggings and I wear like skinny stretchy jeans or whatever. Like, they don't feel like jeans. They like nice and smooth, but they're like, yeah, like slackish a little bit. I can't do jeans no more. I used to rock jeans all the time before I had kids. After I had kids, I'm like, sweatpants, leggings. We here. So you know, they're asking, well, who you going to date with? And she's like, oh, I'm going out with Young Dirty Bastard. That's ODB's son. And they're like, well, does he have a girlfriend? Does he have kids? She said, I don't know if he got a girlfriend. Do it look like I come second to anybody? And I'm like, boo-boo. This man got 2 baby mamas and 6 kids. He trying to make you third, okay? He trying to make you third, and he trying to have 3 extra kids. No, last week he said 5. So he trying to have 5 extra kids. So that man plotting on your uterus. He trying to make you baby mama number 3, girl. You in danger, girl. So now we go to Ryan and Fat Joe. And, you know, Joe's pretty much asking Ryan, like, why he isn't around the store much. And he wants Ryan to have a plan B. He wants him to, yeah, pursue your music, do that. But have the store as a fallback plan just in case your music career doesn't make it. And I get it. I don't feel like Joe is like, oh, you're not going to make it as a rapper. You're not going to make it as this. I feel like Joe is setting him up, because a lot of parents don't set their kids up for a future of where, okay, in case this income runs out, here's another thing that you could fall back on. Here's another investment, financial literacy. So, Joe was like, you need to go where you're making money in case the music doesn't, make money, because the music industry is a hustle. Like, you have to keep promoting, and you got to keep belting out hits. You got to keep going. It's a machine. Whereas when you have the store generates money because it generates traffic. So it's a hustle, but it's a different type of hustle, and it's a business. So it's, foolproof, no problem. So, Joe's pretty much like, you have to earn your spot or whatever. People have high expectations of you because you're a celebrity's son or whatever, but there are a lot of celebrity kids who have tried their hands at following in the footsteps of their parents, and they have failed miserably because it really wasn't for them. So this is what I want for you. I want you to take care of the store as a fallback plan or whatever. So, he just wants Ryan to hustle. And Ryan is like, yeah, but music is my everything. I've loved music since I was 3 and blah, blah, blah. So Joe is like, I'm not knocking your talent. I'm not saying that you can't make it big. I'm just letting you know the reality. Yes, music is your first love. Pursue it. Always pursue your dream. But have a fallback plan. I'm not mad at Joe for instilling that in his head. So now little mama is promoting her party. And, she's like, giving out the flyers and the tickets, and she's not really worried about the attendance. She knows that it's going to be a fly party. So now we get to this date with Designer and Young Dirty Bastard. They went to a mixology date, and Designer's pretty much like, she loves his personality. He's goofy, he's funny, he's cool like she is. And he's like, Designer looking all good and stuff. Yeah, I want the cookies and the milk. And I'm like, this is so awkward, because you have a whole pregnant girlfriend. How you going on dates and you got a whole pregnant girlfriend at home? Okay. So they're pretty much catching up, and he's asking her about the whole song with her dad, and she's like, she's been calling him, she can't really get in contact with him, he's not there, like, he's just not making time for them. So he's like, she's pretty much discouraged about the song, and he's like, don't be skeptical, just keep trying, keep reaching out. I wish I could. YDB is like, I wish I could call my dad, I wish I could do these things. He passed when I was 15, 16 or whatever. So you still have that opportunity to get it right with your dad. Take the opportunity or whatever. So then they discuss his Rolling Stone shoot, and he pretty much blames his sister for how it went or whatever. And Designer pretty much tells him to be nice, and be nice because his sister's looking out for him, rightfully so. And he's like, you know what, dudes are emotional too, and I think we're emotional because our penises hang. Like, that's the difference between a man and a woman. Our penises hang, whereas women, everything in y'all is internal. So like, y'all stuff is internal, but us, we hanging out, we can't hide small penis or whatever. And I'm just like, he has a point, but it just cracks me up to hear him say this stuff, because he's such a goofball. Like, I really do like YDB so far. Like, he's funny. He brings the comedic relevance to this show. So he's pretty much saying that his they started talking about polygamy and polyamory or whatever, which I'm for polyamory. Live your life. Because there's people who are in polyamorous relationships and don't even notice. They don't even realize it. Okay? So, he's pretty much saying, like, his first baby mother didn't understand him, and he is into being a polygamist. And, like, I guess he was trying to say polyamorous, because I think polyamorous is like the state of where y'all are together in a relationship, and it's a 3-way relationship. And then polygamy is when you have more than one wife. So he's saying that he's into it because his purpose on this earth, It's to procreate. And designer's like, yo, I feel you. I'm into polyamory. You know, I've done it before. I would do it again. You know, I'm with it. And I'm like, if it's done with the right people, polyamorous relationships would be A1. But you have to find mature ass, not narrow minded people to do that with. So, you know, they end their date. He walks into her Uber and he invites her to his party that he's having. And, you know, she says she'll come or whatever. So as she drives off, he's calling his baby mother and telling her, oh, you know, I'm just checking on you, making sure the baby's okay and blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, they good. Where are you? And he's like, you know, I'm out. And she's like, who you out with? Who you went to see? He like, babe, I ain't gonna be out here cheating and whatnot. And she like, what time you gonna be home? I'll be home in 20 hours. She like, no, you should be home by midnight. He, I ain't coming home at midnight. Blah, blah. And I'm like, this is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. But he cracks me up. He's gonna crack me up every episode. So now we get to the 90s party with Lil Mama. Lil Mama is dressed up as Mary J. Blige in the 90s. And Medina comes dressed as Madonna, which I didn't really care for her Madonna costume. Medina looked crazy. Like, her boobs looked weird and her face she looked crazy to me. So I think Vina was dressed up as Left Eye or whatever. So Lil Mama is like, well, you know, in New York, the party usually doesn't start jumping off until 1 o'clock. First of all, because I'm a New Yorker, I go to parties out here. I go to parties in the city because that's mostly where they have the parties at. Let me tell y'all something, okay? Parties usually start around, depending on the party, some start at 8, some start at 10. And a lot of them are like, oh, parties are free before 11:30, parties are free before 12. If you are getting to a party at 1 o'clock, that means you plan to pay $10, $20, or $30 at the door, okay? I try to get the parties when it's still free. That way, whatever money I have, I could spend that on drinks. I could spend that on whatever I want to buy at the party. So Lil Mama talking about parties. Parties do start, they tend to jump off at 1. But usually when you have a free before 11:30 or free before 12 at the club type of thing, people get there at that time so that they don't have to pay. People who got it like that or whatever, they come after and they decide. But usually around, I would say 11:30 ish is when parties jump off. That's when they just getting into the groove of stuff. By 12, it's kind of lit. By 1, it's jumping. So Lil Mama just sitting there taking home sweet time, like it's not her party, like she's not the host. And I'm just sitting here like, this is why your daddy feel like this party's gonna be a fail. So Brittany arrives at the party. That place is empty. Like, I literally saw tumbleweeds, okay? That place was empty. For it to be such a big venue, it was like 6 people there. And I was like, okay. So, you know, Brittany is there, and she's looking for Lil Mama. And, you know, she trying to be, not trying to be cute, but, you know, she on her phone, and she, yeah, you know, having a fun time, and Lil Mama's not here. Yeah, I want to go home. I felt Brittany's energy. I definitely felt her energy because I'm like, bruh, if I come to a party and the host is not there yet, I get irritated because I'm like, it's your party. So if you don't care about your party, your event, why should I care about your event? That's just me. That's me. So Brittany left and that was that. So Vina and OnStar are catching up because they know each other and they just like, you know, how's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. So they just having a quick little conversation. So JoJo, Ryan, and Tanise arrived to the party, and you know JoJo is like, "Yo, this venue is big, like for no reason. Like it's big for no reason." So Ange arrives, and you know she's like, "Well, I'm here to support. You know, I would love to have a conversation with Lil Mama just to clear the air, make sure everything is okay, and blah blah blah." So everybody's looking for Lil Mama, like, where is she? Like this is her party. She's not here. Where is she? So her brother, Lil Mama, my hair's coming out. Lil Mama's brother Talik is letting them know, yeah, she's coming. She's just arriving kind of late, so she's coming. You know, eat up, drink up, have a ball. So, Lil Lil Mama is still at her apartment, wherever she is, where she addressed, and she's like, well, everybody knows that when I have a party, the party does not start till I arrive, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, people do not know that because you're not at the party, and you're purposely making people wait for, like, that's just, I'm sorry, that's tacky to me. That's tacky to me. That is tacky to me. Do not let this, don't, if you live outside the state of New York, do not let what Lil Mama's saying make you think that's the truth. We are not all like that. We are not all like that. I feel like if I'm hosting an event and I'm hosting a party, I'm gonna be there. The main thing I might do is, if I'm setting up or whatever, I'll be setting up whatever. I might be in my plain clothes, and then I'll go off to the side and I'll go change into my party clothes. That's what I'll do. But I would never, ever, ever throw a party and invite people out to the party and have them sitting there waiting 3 hours or so because I want to make a late entrance. That makes no sense to me. I feel like that is tacky. I feel like that's rude, but whatever. I like Lil Mama, but I can't, that's something I can't get with. I can't rock with that. So, JoJo was like, this is like a backyard Jamaican party. And I'm like, no, because if it was a backyard Jamaican party, JoJo, the host will be there. The music and the food will be lit. It will be a bunch of aunties and uncles dancing with you. It will be somebody jumping off a speaker. You know, shout out to all my Jamaicans because I love y'all. I can't escape y'all at all. My kids are half Jamaican. Okay, I can't escape them. So yeah, so they all have been there an hour. JoJo and Tanise, they have a daughter. Angela has a son. They're like, okay, we got to get back home. We only had a certain amount of time we could be out before we got to get back to our kids. So everybody is pretty much like, all right, I'm calling it a night. We've been here a certain time. We got to go. So Medina is like, back at the house, you just sitting here like everything is all good. You don't even care that people are at your party waiting for you. And that's kind of like, that's whack. And I'm like, child. So it pretty much ended with everybody leaving. Angela was like, listen, I'll just have to talk to her another time because she clearly does not care about making it to her party on time, and this is not a priority. I gotta get back to my son. And I'm like, child. And it pretty much ended there. And I'm like, oh boy. So, you know, this episode was okay. Nothing major really happened. Just a continuation of last week's or whatever. But, you know, I guess next week it continues with the party and then among other things. But, you know, this episode was okay. Like I said, late upload, but whatever. I said I'll have it along with Fishbowl Fridays or whatever. But you guys let me know how you like growing up Hip Hop New York so far. So far, I like it. It's a likable cast, you know, not to say that the other franchises aren't, but it's a likable cast. So, you know, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about Tisha on the tube, Tisha on the tube, Tisha on the tube. I am a nut, but the singing and the dancing works for me, so I'm gonna keep it going. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Later.